Smash is such a cool game. Like, it's competitive on a casual level. Obviously, it's a fighting game. Someone has to win, right? So it's really cool that with any kind of game like that, there's going to be people that want to take it a step farther and take it a step farther. And those people are the people that really put in the work and like founded this kind of stuff. And you know what I mean? Because I wanted to be the best, you know what I mean? So I found other people that share the same, and we, you know what I mean? This is where we're at.
So I've always been into fighting games since I was a kid. I grew up with a bunch of brothers, so, and I played Brawl for a while. I'm kind of ashamed, but when I moved here, which was just a few months ago, I was looking for some people to play casually with, and I found this group on Facebook, and then it just so happened that I loved playing Melee, so I just got really into it. And everyone here is so much fun that, yeah, you can't not love it.
I mean, we all grew up with the game, so where I like to say that I started playing like for serious, for like when I was playing with my friends, and kind of taking the next step to go to be the best, you know what I mean? I've been playing probably around 6 years, and man, time flies, I'll tell you what. My first tournament was in the summer of 2009, so yeah, it's coming up on 6 years now.
I've only been in the community about 2 years. My first tournament was Carol Fest 4, which Carol hosts. My first tournament, I broadcast and record. That's what I do a lot of the time. And I just started keeping going with that, and then the Smash documentary happened. The Smash documentary happened 2 or 3 months before or after I entered the community, and that was just insane. Because of all the people who were coming in from the documentary and all the hype that created, we created this weekly that you're at right now, Man on a Ledge, and we're 42 weeks strong. Haven't missed a single week yet. So
I've been friends with the Lake since I was in 6th grade, and back in 2005, that's when we started getting into it like really competitively. We were in like South Butler, so we were really the only ones around who played. And then at Tekka Showcon, I think it was in 2008, we met Nakamaru. And he was like someone who was pushing the game a little bit further than what we had previously seen. And then from there, we kind of just made like a crew. And then eventually we merged with Pittsburgh around 2008. And like we had like our own little like grassroots scene outside of the city. And then once we merged with them, we kind of got into it. And then we went around like the whole state. And then we went out of state for tournaments like the Big House in Michigan, and eventually, like over the years, we've gone to the other side of the East Coast. I've been to Germany for a tournament, and
I mean, around here, the Pittsburgh guys, we all started on Smashboards.com. I mean, we kind of found other Pittsburgh Smashers, started meeting up, started playing, and then, you know, I mean, likewise, like Pittsburgh wasn't the only place doing it. There's surrounding places, and we really just all kept going, and it's been a fun ride.
Well, I haven't been around too long. I've only been playing for like a year and a half, but as far as I know, they used to have like weeklies at Duquesne, and then right when I started getting into the scene, Bears Fan, which is like the old president of the club, started hosting the Fight Pit series, which used to be monthly, and then it got like really big when like Mango, Mewtwo King, considered like some of the greatest all time. They like came to one and like 90 people showed up, and the next one was like 170, and we started having like these weeklies here at CMU, Man on a Ledge, which I run with a few of the other guys, and I took over the club from Bears Fan, and now the Fight Pit series getting like 200 people. Hopefully next one we're actually aiming to get like 500-600.
So the Pitt Smash Bros Club, which I'm vice president of, we host a huge tournament like every like other semester. So in the spring semester of every year. Which is our Fight Pit series. At Fight Pit 4, we had Mango and Mewtwo King, which are like 2 of the top 5 best Smashers in the world. And it's a funny story. The venue, we were in the venue so long, the people at the venue wanted us to leave, and they were like threatening to call the cops and stuff. So it's just Mango and Mewtwo King in a completely empty room, just playing grand finals in a just dead empty room with no hype.
Melee is a real like down-to-earth like community game. You know what I mean? You got your GameCube, your buddy got your GameCube. We all load our cars up, go to these tournaments that we run. You know what I mean? I never considered myself like an event planner or like anything sort of like that. But like I've ran these tournaments, you know what I mean? It's all, we all take it upon ourselves. Everyone like doesn't have a job, but we all work so well together, and we like do stuff like this. And you know what I mean? Nintendo's not like telling us how to do it.
Well, a lot of it is from us, you know, having younger siblings. Or I know Taki, who's like, he's been in the community since the game came out. He has a bunch of neighbors with kids. His boss has kids, and he teaches them how to play and like gets them involved. And it's really cool because all of the people that I've met in the Melee community are really good role models. And so, especially like kids who are gamers and like need someone to look up to, you know, it's kind of nice that we can all come together and be role models for kids coming up in the community, you know. So
It's kind of a newer controller. I had a silver controller for maybe like 4 years, and it was the best thing ever. You know what I mean? And controllers are so cool in themselves for these things because we all need them, obviously. It's bring your own, and it's kind of like your tennis racket or your car, you know, something that's yours and you're used to, and you know the in and outs, because like, I've actually probably never pressed my L button all the way in, because I've never had to, you know what I mean? And it's just like, so that's the longevity of that button, you know what I mean? I've mashed on my A button so long that like, you know what I mean, it's kind of going, but like, it feels so right to me, and I feel like if you talk to anyone, that's how they feel about that. It's really cool.
Like, the reality of it is the competitive Smash community is such a small portion of the people that enjoy Smash Brothers as a game.
And Melee obviously is my main game. I like all the other games. You know what I mean, they have their own like strengths and cons and this and that. But Melee it's a beautiful thing.
I don't know. I feel great in the fact that if I went online, I could travel literally anywhere and call someone up and be like, I need a place to stay tonight, and someone would be like, oh, like they'd be inviting about it. It's a nice feeling. You got a friend anywhere as long as they know who you are.
And it's cool because all it takes is one person finding one thing and sharing that information, and then like another person finds it, takes it on their own, expands on it, and it pushes the game just so much farther than even like you would ever believe. Because there's so many crazy techniques that like have just like evolved until they're still going. Yeah, you know what I mean. I've been around for so long, and it's like I still learn something new every day. You know what I mean? Just even if it's the tiniest little like minute like thing that happens fundamental every day. You know what I mean? It's
I get strikes. So 64 is like really combo heavy and has like 0 to death on everything. Like anything you get touched on, you'll just die from it because there's no like DI. But Melee has that like perfect amount of control of your character at almost like all times in the game. It always feels so fluid, and like all the movement and like the way like characters interact with each other. There's no other game that has that kind of like player-player interaction at every like facet of the game. So that's why I think I play it.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, it's a fighting game, so you know what I mean. People have that drive to want to win and so they start finding out little tricks and things like that, and really pushing their game to give them the edge. So it really came about, and it's awesome how it came about. And at that time when this game came out and the internet started being like a household thing, and you know what I mean, you could like read up on this kind of stuff, and everyone's posting like found this, found that, and even like the new Smash game that like came out, you see that stuff all the time. You know what I mean? It's a little more like visible now, but you had to go search for it back in the day.
There was just a thing a couple weeks ago teaches you a new way to reflect projectiles with your power shield, and that's brand new technology in a 13-year-old game. There are people to use, so things just keep coming out. It's such a creative game. Like I play Sheik, someone else plays Sheiks. Our Sheiks are totally different. Everybody's like Carol and Voodoo's Foxes are completely different. Abate and Voodoo's Luigi's are completely different. There's so much expression and creativity that you can put into a character that I don't think you can find in any other fighting game or game in the series. It's just a very expressive thing.
Now, I feel like Nintendo really kind of got back involved with Melee's like popularity spike again, like 2 years ago, and they like put their hand and stuff and to kind of help promote Smash 4. You know what I mean? More so.
like people that come in to the next game, like when Brawl came out, oh my God, Brawl's amazing, 40-something characters or something like that. Look at all this new content, there's new story mode, there's a story, stuff like that. But the underlying gameplay just wasn't fast. It was rewarding of defense rather than a mixture of offense. It's really slow, stuff like that. And although Smash 4 made some steps to try to like mitigate that and come to a middle ground,
And as of recently, you know what I mean, catered isn't even the right word, because before then it was just Brawl was out and they were selling it and that's what they wanted. Melee was out and they were selling it and that's what they wanted. And there really wasn't any involvement at all.
Nintendo didn't do anything up until this year. They didn't want anything to do with us. They didn't want anything like with our community at all. And in fact, the guy who makes Super Smash Bros., Masahiro Sakurai, he despises the competitive community, so much so that he purposely made sure that Brawl removed most of the advanced techniques that make Melee so fast and interesting, which is the reason why the community is so large. So now that Nintendo of America specifically wants in with Smash 4 for tournaments and stuff, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like, there's no reason for them to be in it other than for money.
Well, it changed in the sense that they're here now. You know what I mean? For a long time, it seemed like Smash and like Melee, they always catered to the newest game out.
Their new game came out, they kind of like saw the opportunity and they started like sponsoring a few of our events. So like the last Apex, I think they provided like 50 or 60 setups, which is actually like really big, because the Wii U setups especially, like really expensive to get, and not too many people bring them out. Like at like Melee tournaments, we can bring our like GameCubes at like $10 or whatever, but like those Wii U setups are like pretty big.
So nowadays, with Nintendo really having their hand in things, it's interesting. It's definitely something we're not used to. We're very self-sufficient as a community on our own, so we embrace the help, you know what I mean, the good and the bad that comes with it, because, you know what I mean, Nintendo, I feel, and now this is my own slight opinion on things, like, because Melee, in my eyes, there's two types of competitive Smash players. There are Melee players and everything else players, you know what I mean?
They tried to almost shut us down. Like we got in the Evo, and they almost wanted to shut down the stream.
Provide Wii U's, but they weren't unlocked. They didn't have characters unlocked. They didn't have stages unlocked. Like, and okay, it's your first time helping out with a tournament. You're gonna make mistakes. But the only other thing they did was show a commercial on the main screen and bring a pre-release game that's completely unrelated to Smash, Splatoon, to be played as a demo. It seems like they're exploiting us and putting limits upon what we can do, as opposed to helping us do what we're already trying to do. They just seem to be limiting rather than helping.
The one big thing is like the shutdown of PM from Apex, which is like, yeah, like you can understand it, but like that's a big loss to some of the like PM players. Yeah. So PM's a mod of Brawl. It was designed to make it like Brawl a little faster. A lot of people didn't like the like slower pace of Brawl, and basically Nintendo, to give us their like sponsorship, they like didn't want to like acknowledge it. So basically we can't have it at any of the like Nintendo run events, so they don't actually end up shutting down completely. So they haven't had like a cease and desist on it. So it's still like around. There's still like tournaments for it, but like it getting dropped from the biggest tournament ever, that's still pretty big.
I don't really know that much about back in the day. I know that, like, for example, PMOL wasn't able to be played at Apex because they got Nintendo's endorsement, but Nintendo didn't actually do much for the tournament, so that kind of put a bad taste in people's mouths who play Project M, but for me, I didn't notice any difference.
The only thing I recall with them personally getting involved was at Evo, when they they sent a cease and desist letter to the community to not stream it. They've been really weird about IP lately, but it hasn't been much to like affect what the community does. This is a really strange community. It's unique, it's so powerful. Like I don't know, it's unlike any, this is the only one I've been a part of, but I've seen other ones, and no other one has the heart that this one does. And it's just like it's an emotionally strong and tight-knit community.
Oh, that's a hard question. Because without us, there's no one to purchase your product, right? And I mean, we're here playing a game that's, 13, 14 years old, and we're still sticking with it. We're like the diehards, So you would think that you would market to that kind of community, but at the same time, it's his stuff, and we're probably going to play Melee for as long as we can. And even if the new games were good, we'd probably still play Melee. So,
I mean, it would have been nice. You look at some of the other like fighting games like that are really popular on like a big stage that kind of have that support from their companies and stuff like Capcom's big on that. They like throw some money, some pot bonuses, real help out with equipment. Melee never had that.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's silly for someone to come out and say that they didn't want their game to be competitive, but then like try to control aspects of the competitive community.
I mean, Sakurai just doesn't care about our view of the competitive community. Like, if you watch that game, other than a couple characters like Diddy Kong, Sheik, Zero Suit Samus, a couple other characters, it's a camp fest. Like, there's no punish game. It's all, you play neutral, you get your one hit, and then you reset to neutral. Like, in Melee, if you lose neutral and you get hit or grabbed, you're going to take 50, 60% or lose your stock. So, like, stuff like that, Sakurai just doesn't care about us, and I don't see why now we should care that Nintendo wants us to care about them. We should just move along, go about our grassroots stuff like that. We can be esports without Nintendo. I think that's totally possible.
I feel like they've shown like their commercials, they've had their exhibitions for like new games, which I think that's like fair for a sponsor. They haven't done anything that's like super big. They haven't made any like rules or anything, so I think they're like about in the right spot.
I mean, it helps, and we enjoy having Nintendo around. But I don't know how much more they care to put their like hands in the Melee business, and I don't know. It's interesting to see how it develops.
In the future, 10, 20, 30 more years, people are going to stop playing this game. We've survived for, 13 years now, still playing the same game. People still find new advanced techniques every day. Try playing Melee. It's really fun. It's a really fun game.